yeah, I'll flying over the police station, yeah.
Is there any particular reason?
Yeah, just having a little look. Is that a lunch? Is that like a canteen at top, you know, around back on side? Just having a little look, you know, getting some kind of zoomed in shots to see what there is to see, really. Just having a bit of a nosy, if you know what I mean.
Why though?
Any reason for it?
Nah, just for me, personal reason. Don't work for any business or like that, don't we? Yeah.
What's your personal interest with what goes on inside a police station?
Well, it's not my own personal interest, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people.
You said your personal. It's for you. It's personal for you. Well, you've obviously zoomed in well enough to see that there's tables and chairs and asked if there's a canteen. So
No, I never said that, did I? No, I didn't say that, did I? I never said that, did I? No, I said, is that a canteen? I never said I'd zoomed in on the canteen, did I?
You said you got some zoomed in images, yeah, and then asked.
No, I am zooming in on the police station. Just have a look at it. It's nothing.
For what reason?
For what reason?
That's all we're interested in is why you would be doing that.
Just for my own purposes. I'm just making a little documentary of some of the buildings in the area.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought what I'll do is I'll have a look at the police station, because I came to have a look at this place, Forza, which is it's kind of meat processing place, isn't it? So I'm just having a little look around. I came to have a quick look at Forza, and then I saw the police headquarters. So I thought, right, what I'll do is I'll go down there first, have a quick flyover, get zoomed in on some of the bits the public might want to see that they don't generally get to see.
There's a reason that public don't get to see that, because it's the inside of the police station.
If a drone pilot is simply recording the outside of a building while staying in public airspace, that in itself isn't breaking the law. Concerns only become valid if the camera pushes past boundaries, like zooming inside windows where people reasonably expect privacy, such as offices or private rooms. Capturing the facade, the walls, or general surroundings is legal and protected activity. Here, the auditor's casual question about the canteen's location doesn't suggest he filmed private areas, nor does it amount to any breach of security. It's a harmless inquiry, not evidence of wrongdoing.
I weren't going for any windows or like that.
Is it? Right.
No,
is that reasonable?
No, I think you're talking rubbish. Honestly, I do. Yeah.
Right.
There's a reason why there's gates and there's it's card access. There's a reason for that. It's because public not allowed in there.
Oh, they're not allowed in. I didn't go in.
Right. Well, technically you have, because you've got a camera on that and you've zoomed in. Right?
No, I'm in the airspace above the police station.
That's reasonable, isn't it? Right. That police station is not for public access. Hence why it's so secure. By flying that
I didn't go in though, so what are you talking to me like that for? Like telling me off like a naughty schoolboy?
I'm saying you've flown the drone in there.
Yeah, I have.
Obviously zoomed in on the police station. That's not for public access, right?
I have zoomed in on the police station,
There's a reason why it's not for public access, because it's the police station.
Let's make this clear. Zooming in with a lens is not the same thing as stepping inside a building. That's not trespass. It's not breaking and entering, and it's certainly not unlawful access. Under UK property law, trespass requires someone to physically cross into private land or space. A photo or video taken from outside, even if magnified, doesn't cross that legal line. If the officer's logic held true, every journalist using a telephoto lens would be a criminal. It's absurd. On top of that, Article 10 of the Human Rights Act protects the right to gather and share information, which includes photography and video capture from public vantage points.
That's a fair enough comment.
It's not, because you're not allowed to walk through the barriers. Yeah, fair enough.
What makes you think you can put the drone in there and zoom in?
Because I can fly over. It's in the airspace.
If you're flying over it, but you've told me that you've zoomed in on the building.
I've zoomed in on the building, to get some close-up shots.
Why?
Because I wanted to.
But it's not for public access, is it?
Well, I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to do that.
It's not for public access, is it? And that's going to arouse our suspicion.
You can say it's not for public access as much as you want, but you're not going to convince me.
Over it and you zoomed into the police station, so we've come to ask you why.
I know. I've just said I'm literally come to here to make a little video about Forza. Saw the police station. Come in to have a look at the police station.
The auditor isn't causing disruption, hasn't broken the law, and is flying his drone well within regulations. So why are officers quietly comparing his face to a photo? This isn't about safety or protecting the public. It looks more like a covert profiling exercise, the type of tactic used when authorities have no solid grounds but want to intimidate. There's no arrest, no caution, no formal stop, just an attempt to ID someone they disapprove of. That's not professional policing. That's harassment dressed in uniform. And when the auditor calls it out, the officers dismiss it as assumption. If that were true, why the glances between his face and the phone? The reality is clear. They were treating him like a suspect without admitting it.
So that's your assumption.
Private conversation in public. Well, I don't know why you're trying to incriminate me.
I've asked you nicely now what your name is.
Yeah.
All right.
Listen to me first.
Personally, I can ask you.
Yeah.
To identify yourself.
Listen to me first.
If you want to mess about, we'll look at going under Terrorism Act. Okay.
Terrorism Act. Don't be stupid. Listen to it. Like, if you're asking for my details, you've got. I don't believe that I have to give you my details. So you're gonna have to tell me what section of the law you're acting when you ask me for those.
As I've said, I'll do it under Terrorism Act if I have to.
What? Which act?
Section 60.
Section 60. Terrorism Act.
Yes.
To get my details.
Yes.
Then comes a heavy-handed threat. I'll do it under the Terrorism Act if I have to. Section 60. The problem? Section 60 isn't even part of terrorism law. It falls under Criminal Justice and Public Order Act 1994 and is used only for stop and search in anticipation of violence, specifically for weapons. It has nothing to do with ID checks or drone use. If the officer actually meant Section 43 of the Terrorism Act 2000, that too requires reasonable suspicion of terrorism, something that must be based on clear facts, not just filming. Refusing to give your name doesn't qualify. Invoking terrorism powers here isn't just a mistake. It's coercion, and it's dangerous.
This guy's a police officer, 4737, and he doesn't know the law. Can you believe that? What do you think of that? The guy that doesn't know the law.
I don't have no comment on that.
He doesn't have a comment. Anyway, that's fine. Anyway, what's your name? Do you want to give me your name or anything?
Don't have to.
Yeah. You're out in public though now, aren't you? Are you SIA licensed?
Sorry?
Are you SIA licensed?
I am, yes.
Where's your SIA badge then? Because we've got two police over there, and you know it's illegal to not have your SIA badge on in public when you're dealing.
It's within a metre off site.
Within
a metre off site.
A metre off site. Oh, I think you're more than a metre off site. But anyway, I won't tell them anyway because I'm not against you.
Right, so basically all I've just been doing there is just to double check the legislation around the zooming in aspect of it. So you want to fly the drone generically, that's absolutely fine, but you disclosed to me that you'd been zooming in on the building, you'd taken images zoomed in. That's what you said, effectively words to that effect.
What law is that against? What law?
Yeah. Let me finish. Okay. And then you asked me if it were a canteen, so you have clearly been zooming in on.
No, I haven't zoomed in through a window. I haven't zoomed in through a window.
It wouldn't have access to that, so that's where the sticky situation is. So I'm clarifying whether that's okay or not.
Well, I'll tell you now, I haven't zoomed in through a window, so yeah. I didn't say that. The camera won't lie. Yeah, I said, is that the canteen at that side?
Zoomed in images is what you said, I think.
The auditor calmly clarifies he hasn't zoomed in on any windows, hasn't looked into private areas, and hasn't published any sensitive details. All he said was which side of the building the canteen is on. Information visible from public vantage points and hardly national security material. Knowing where a staff canteen is doesn't breach security. It exposes how fragile the station's internal privacy is, if anything. Police aren't supposed to make up offences and then check the law afterwards to see if they can justify themselves. That's backwards policing. You need legal grounds before you approach someone, not while you're already mid-interrogation.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I did zoom in. I zoomed in on the building because I was getting a close, as close I can as I was.
Which would suggest that you've zoomed in on the building there.
Well, yeah, that's
you know that if you hadn't.
Well, which side is the canteen at?
You tell me. You asked.
I don't know. I was just asking if that's the canteen.
If you hadn't zoomed in, so it's reasonable for me to think that that's what you've done.
Well, I haven't done. Well, I'm telling you that I haven't done.
Double check the legislation around that because that's a little bit of a sticky point.
Yeah. Well, that's not what I said, and that's not what I've done.
Okay. We'll agree to disagree on that.
All right. Well, tell you what I'll do. I'll just get on my bike and ride off then.
Well, you won't because until I
until
I ascertain whether you've committed offence or not, I'd like you to remain.
No, I'm going to get on my bike and go. I'm going to pack this. I'm going to pack this drone up and I'm off.
Then I will keep you here.
You will keep me here, will you?
Things on you that could harm us or could harm the police station.
Yeah,
so
right.
if it comes back that you have committed an offence, then I may be searching you under Section 1 of PACE.
Yeah, right. Can you just stay back from me?
Yeah, of course.
What are you doing? Why are you walking so close? Look at this. It's just like, yeah, I know, but we're both intimidating two police officers walking right up to.
When questioned, the auditor calmly explains that he hasn't zoomed into windows, hasn't looked into restricted areas, and hasn't published sensitive information. All he noted was the side of the building where the staff canteen sits, a detail visible from public viewpoints, and far from classified material. Knowing where people eat lunch isn't a threat to security. What this really highlights is how quickly officers leaned on invented offenses instead of grounded law. Policing isn't supposed to work backwards. You don't detain first and then scramble to justify it. You need lawful grounds before you ever approach someone.
Trying to prevent me.
We're explaining to you what the
Yeah,
process
I am. Yeah, well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave the scene now because am I detained?
You may well be being detained.
I may well be being detained.
Are you going to listen? You're asking me questions and then you're not letting me finish and answer you.
I'm gonna nip off and come back for Forza later.
Would you like me to answer the question?
I'd like to answer the question whether I'm detained or not with a yes or no answer, and then
Listen.
Yeah.
Once we get back, if you've committed an offence or not, then you can be on your way. If you.
that's not how it works.
The officer then tells him to stay put while they work out if he's done anything wrong. But the law doesn't operate in limbo. You're either being detained under a specific legal power or you're free to leave. There's no halfway stage where an officer can casually hold you in place while trying to invent suspicion. She even hints at a search under Section 1 apace. But that only applies if officers already have reasonable grounds to believe someone is carrying stolen or prohibited items. Basing a search on what a future radio call might reveal is backwards and unlawful. This kind of subtle pressure chips away at rights without raising voices or making arrests, and it depends on the public not knowing the difference.
Letting me finish, so.
Well, that's not how it works, is it? You can't just say wait around to see whether or not I've committed an offence. If you're going to detain me, you've got to detain me, and you've got to tell me which section of the law you're detaining me under.
I said if I was going to search it, it'd be Section 1 apace, yeah.
Section 1 apace. That'll be if you're going to search me, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm off. So it's a search, is it? Section 1 apace. Let me have a look if you're going to do...
I was going to search it, it would
Yeah.
be Section 1 apace, but I'm waiting to hear back. If you want to go, that's fine, because I can't say whether you've committed an offence or not yet.
Yeah,
If you want to leave, that's absolutely fine. I'm just waiting to hear the legislation based on the information you've told. So if you want to go, by all means go.
Here's a key legal point. If an officer restricts your freedom of movement, that is detention. When someone asks directly, am I being detained? The law requires a clear yes or no. You may well be is not an answer. It's a dodge, and allows officers to act as though detention exists without accepting responsibility. Worse, she ties his freedom to whether the radio turns up incriminating information. That flips due process on its head. Reasonable suspicion must exist first, before detention. If you're waiting on a database to tell you if you have grounds, that's proof you don't have them.
No, I think I'm going to have a little... Yeah, well, that's fast. I'm going to have a quick look at Section 1 apace and see what powers you've got. Because you've got to have reasonable suspicion that I've committed an offence, haven't you?
And I've just explained to you, that's what I'm trying to establish. So if you want to search it, that's fine, because I've explained it to you.
I'm going to do, yeah. I'm going to have a little look at Section 1 apace and see what your powers are. Because can I just say, will you be? I want to tell you something now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you be really careful, because I really don't want to be getting involved in lawsuits with you. I really don't want to be suing you civilly for breaching my rights. Exactly, and I genuinely don't.
You're free to leave, so you can go if you want.
I know, but I genuinely don't. But if you search me under Section 1 apace, you guys are going to be in big trouble.
With you. I've explained it to you. If you want to leave, by all means you can leave. We're not old.
This moment exposes the inconsistency. Only minutes earlier, the officer implied the auditor couldn't leave until she determined whether an offense had been committed. Now, without any new facts, she suddenly changes course and says he's free to go, even while admitting they still haven't decided what law, if any, applies. That's not lawful policing. You can't suggest legal consequences 1 minute and then casually withdraw them the next. The risk here is subtle but serious. Officers use uncertainty as leverage, holding someone in place even when no authority exists to do so.
You can go if you want. I've explained that to you.
Are you off now?
No, we're just going to have a sit in car and just wait to see if there's any offences, alright?
Okay then.
If you want to get off, you can, by all means, you can go.
I'm going to complete what I came here to do. There we go, look. And they're off. So all this terrorism malarkey. There you go. See ya.
Under Section 1 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984, officers need concrete, Reasonable grounds to suspect a person is carrying stolen goods, weapons, or prohibited articles before conducting a search. Lawful drone use or declining to provide ID doesn't meet that standard. If an officer proceeded anyway, it could open the door to civil claims for unlawful stop and search, or even claims of Human Rights Act violations under Article 8, which protects private life. In the UK, officers don't enjoy blanket immunity. Unlawful behavior can and has led to personal liability in court. This isn't just sloppy policing. It's risky. Part 10, final. And then, just like that, the officers drive away. No arrest, no caution, no search, because there was never a legal foundation to act in the first place. What we've witnessed is policing built on uncertainty and contradiction, not on law. One officer tried to equate zooming with unlawful entry. Another floated terrorism powers with no basis, and both shifted positions when challenged. At one point, they admitted they were still figuring out which legislation might even apply. That alone proves they had no authority to stop him. This wasn't about law. It was about discomfort with being filmed. The auditor, knowing his rights, stood firm, and the officers had nothing left but retreat. No explanation. No apology. Just silence. That wraps up today's breakdown. If you found this analysis valuable, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more independent coverage. And don't forget to check out Northern Audit. His channel link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.